Student Involvement invites you to the Martin Luther King Day of Service, Monday, January 18th from 7:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. For more information or to volunteer at this event, call the phone numbers or email the address shown above.
Coming up in just a few minutes, awareness on a disease affecting our border is being shared by one victim. Plus, students are going hungry on campus. Find out how the university is taking action. This and more as UTRGV TV starts now. Hey there, thanks for joining us on this week's edition of UTRGV TV. I am Orlando Vargas. Well, the number of people living with HIV or AIDS is increasing at an alarming rate along our border, and those living with the virus are coming forward to share their story and their message with the world. Our reporter Stephen Cavazos is in Brownsville with more.
Nearly 2,000 people are living with HIV in the Valley. December 1st marked World AIDS Day, and educators and people stricken with the disease came forward to speak on education and prevention. A room of people bonded in the color red came together on World AIDS Day at El Hueso del Fraile in downtown Brownsville. 1 year ago, Adrian Castellanos was diagnosed with the disease, and he recalls his first reaction after discovering his status.
Well, I was terrified because I knew that HIV, it was possible to live with HIV. And I had heard lots of stories, but I had never really heard a lot about someone being diagnosed with AIDS and then living to tell about it.
The ripple effects after his diagnosis left Castellanos vulnerable to sickness, and doctors recommended his family take safety precautions while around their ill relative.
It was really, really hard, and even the family members that I did interact with when I was on bed rest, they had to wear one of those face masks. Because, I mean, really everyone around me was a threat to me because my immune system was so just almost gone.
AIDS is a deadly disease caused by the human immunodeficiency virus, otherwise known as HIV. There is no cure for the virus, but if left untreated, can advance to AIDS.
So here in the Valley, we're averaging 5 new infections a week. Every week, one of those infections is 24 and younger. If you're under 24 and you're bright and you're watching this, there's no excuse.
Stern words from Lopez for the younger generation across the Valley. Nearly 2,000 people are infected with HIV in the Valley, and the number is increasing every year.
For you to have unprotected sex with somebody that you don't know too well and whose status you don't know is just irresponsible.
The Valley AIDS Council was on the UTRGV campus this week to offer free HIV screenings, which I took advantage of. With a simple prick of the finger, and 1 minute later, I learned my HIV status.
Go get tested, know your status, make sure your partner gets tested, ask to see his or her results, and then move forward.
Now with proper medication, Castellanos has taken back his life and hopes his story will shed light on a disease surrounded by stigma.
If I had tested earlier, if I was testing regularly, I could have found out maybe as soon as I was infected so that I could have done something about it, so I didn't have to go through all the trauma that I went through. And it's really something that I push to prevent.
For more information on testing locations, you can visit the link below. I have my HIV test results right here, and as advocates say, there's nothing more important than knowing your status. From the Brownsville newsroom, Stephen Cavazos, UTRGV TV.
This past week, students from UTRGV came together to bring awareness of the dangers of sexual assault. Students on the Brownsville campus came forward to openly discuss the issues revolving around sexual assault. Statistics show that 2 out of every 5 women are sexually assaulted on campus.
You can always call the police department and we can have an officer or one of our public safety officers respond. Actually walk you to your car and make sure you get there safely or walk you back to your housing area.
And for men, that's 1 out of every 16. Valley Baptist Harlingen, Friendship of Women, and the Brownsville District Attorney were just a few of the representatives on hand. All new at this hour, food insecurity is becoming a problem on our campus. But how is the university taking action? We went looking for answers. A simple tin can go a long way for those on an empty stomach.
It's people that you might not even know are needing help.
Jennifer Cerda is one of several volunteers who run the UTRGV food pantry. It serves hundreds of students a week.
This is a way for them to be able to, reach out to us and let the university know that, they are struggling.
Cerda hears dozens of stories from those struggling to find a daily meal.
We recently had a student who said she couldn't pay and she was homeless for a while.
The program has been in effect for a year. An additional food pantry was opened in Brownsville to help alleviate food insecurity amongst the student population.
There's a misperception that students that are getting financial aid are able to pay for their own food, but financial aid sometimes doesn't cover everything that they need.
Dr. Michael Vanegas is the Associate Dean of Student Support. He says students that use a food pantry go days without eating.
These students on the course of a day shouldn't be worried about, I don't have food to eat for the day, but they should be focused on their academics.
UT-RGV purchases food from the RGV Food Bank and depends on donations. Vanegas says the community should take more action in helping the less fortunate.
The community now is starting to realize that our students are just like anybody else, that they have the same needs, the same issues, and that they need to come in and assist.
For now, Vanegas and his team of students plan to expand the locations and provide a safe haven for those in need. The food pantry hours for both locations in Edinburgh and Brownsville are Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from 2 to 5 p.m. and on Fridays from 1 to 4 p.m. Students must show proof of enrollment and fill out an application. Well, it was a busy week for the UT-RGV basketball teams, and Daniel Galvan has you covered with the latest in Vaquero athletics.
Thanks, Orlando. And while I was busy eating so much food over the holidays that I'm now strategically choosing which clothes to wear to hide my own body's imperfections, the UT-RGV basketball teams had a very eventful past week. And 2 days before Thanksgiving, actually, it was a big day. Both the men and women's teams had some success, with the guys beating Southeast Missouri State University 83-74 here in Edinburgh. They used a sweet shooting second half that saw them shoot 62.1% from the field. A bunch of veteran bigs had big days. Shaq Hines had 23 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists. Mr. V's up, Sergeant Slaughter, Dakota Slaughter had 17 points and 8 assists, and Dan Kamasa had a double-double in that game. And as far as the women's go, they traveled to the Thunderdome, not the one in Mad Max, but the one in California that houses the University of California Santa Barbara Gauchos. And the Vaqueros won a back-and-forth game 62-60 thanks to a game-winning lay-in by Mary Savoy. And Savoy is a huge transfer that has been big this year for the Vaqueros. She's averaged a double-double with 12.9 points per game and 10.8 rebounds per game. Savoy, Hildur Yarton's daughter, and Chante Goff each had double digits in the win. It was the first win outside of the state of Texas for the team this year. And unfortunately, they did go on and lose 2 heartbreakers afterwards. TCU 71-67, and then to A&M Corpus Christi 49-46. And the cool thing about the Corpus Christi game was that Chante Goff actually had her 1,000th career point, and in that game, senior defensive leader Raquel Preston put in a good effort with 12 points and 10 boards. The men also had some trouble on the road in Texas with a 78-65 loss at starting point guard J.J. Thompson's old stomping grounds at the University of Houston, but J.J. bounced back in the next game, a loss to Ball State, with a 21-point outing. And just as Chante Goff reached her milestone, Shaq Hines actually scored his 1,000th career point in his 100th career game against the University of Houston. And the men return back to Edinburgh, where they are 2-1, by the way, as they welcome Angelo State Rams to Q Taco Country. That does it for this week in sports.
Grammy Award-winning artist Enrique Iglesias, along with other huge stars, were on hand this past weekend for the McAllen Holiday Parade. Our reporters Atalia Lara and Robert Barrera have you covered in this week's entertainment highlights.
Mix took place this Monday at the State Farm Arena, and it featured Adam Lambert, Becky G, Carly Rae Jepsen, and A Great Big World. And let me tell you, Rob, I actually attended this event, and I had a great time.
I'm so jealous. Adam Lambert, everything?
Yes, his voice is amazing.
Your love is a crime. Change your by day, but you're evil in the night. Change your by day, but you're evil in the night.
I'm his biggest fan. I can't believe I didn't go. The Simon Plaza Mall presents its annual McAllen Holiday Parade Saturday, December 5th at 6 p.m. You will see beautifully crafted floats and include big stars like Laura Morano, Olivia Holt, Guillermo Rodriguez, and from Jimmy Kimmel Live, David Cepeda, and so many more stars.
Wow, pretty cool. And let us also tell you that before the parade, Grammy Award winner Enrique Iglesias will be performing at the McAllen Veterans Memorial Stadium at 5 p.m.
Entrance to the parade is free, guys, but sadly his concert is not, but his tickets are available for purchase this week.
Awesome. And continuing the holiday spirit, the Nutcracker presented by Rio Grande Valley Ballet will be this December 5th at the McAllen Civic Auditorium. Pretty cool.
That's awesome. Have you ever danced ballet?
No.
Little tutu?
I like
see
to
you
try
as
it.
well, girly girl. Coming to town also is Alejandro Fernandez. He'll be performing this Saturday, December 5th at the State Farm Arena at 8 p.m.
Awesome. So many great events to attend this weekend. Hopefully I can at least attend one.
I know, I'm super excited. I can't even decide which one to go to. Thanks for watching, guys, and keep tuning in for more entertainment news.
Well, that's all we have for you today. But remember, if you have a story you'd like for us to cover, you can find us on Facebook. Just search UTRGV TV, or you can email us at utrgvtv@gmail.com. Well, we want to thank you once again for joining us. I'm Orlando Vargas. See you until next time.